What is up, guys? It's Die Hard here with the TPP2K Livewire podcast. That was a harmonica. I think that's what they're called. I'm gonna get twisted on the call tonight, and I'm assuming we're gonna have another person joining us as well. We got a couple of questions to get to, and so there's not gonna be a game tonight because the last one, I don't know, it was making my voice do some weird stuff during the beginning intro part, and it was just not cooperating. I don't know if it's because I have Skype, the Twitch chat open, and XSplit. I don't know, whatever it was. But, all right, so I'm going to bring Twisted on here in a moment, and we're going to kind of get right into this. So we're going to add Twisted in here. I'm adding Twisted to the call, as I'm sure you can hear.
Skibbity beep bop, Christopher Reeves.
What up, Mr. Twisted? Did you check this out, man? I got this. Melinda made this noise early, but listen to this. It would work a lot better if I had better lung capacity, because people may not know, but I'm a smoker, and so I don't have that much air in my lungs to work a harmonica. But that was in the intro of the podcast, by the way. That was in the beginning of it. So I basically, we're going to have McNabb join us, I'm assuming, in a couple of minutes. I guess he's going to let us know when he gets back. Told everybody that don't really have a game to play tonight because for some odd reason it made the stream laggy last time. So, needless to say, anybody who follows on Twitter, they're well aware of all the shit that's been going on and all that good jazz. But we're going to jump right into the questions, because I want to jump into these questions. We're going to take it from the oldest question.
You gotta get your hair.
This was 6 days ago, so this was the day after.
Probably on the podcast.
Yeah, either at the podcast or the day after the podcast. They said, "Why are you such an asshole?"
Because people get the response out of it. If you're nice, you don't get treated like an asshole.
That is true. That is very true. We're gonna go through the stupid questions really fast, because there's a good question in here that was asked earlier today. It came in, I'd assume, I don't know, it says 4 hours ago, so about 1 o'clock in the afternoon my time. And that was the one I was telling you about beforehand. So somebody said, when will the new episodes come out? I can actually give an update on that. All the matches have been recorded. Now it's simply on me to go in and put it all together. And I'm going to say 75% of everything together, including FFW and the pay-per-view stuff. I have 75% of everything done. I just got to put together a couple of more matches, make the fancy little edits, things like that. And then guess what, guys? It'll be that time. So we were actually right in our guess last week when we said maybe by the end of this month we would be releasing the episodes. And my wife actually found my pack of cigarettes. I thought I lost them, and I opened up a new pack because they were in my pocket. But yeah, so we were right in our guess that about the end of this month the shows will release. And the way it's going to happen for you guys, you're going to see the match cards like. They were written out as February match cards, but for us, it's going to be March when we all see them. So everything you guys are seeing is kind of post-dated, but again, we took a break for a couple of weeks and stuff and, recharged. So still, within a 2-week time period, we still busted out, 56 matches, 57 matches, something like that. So it's still quite a few matches. And then it looks like McNabb is back, so I'm going to bring McNabb here onto the call with us. I'm gonna bring him into our group call. Let's see. I don't know if he's gonna be on his Xbox or what. Oh, McNabb's in the chat. Go figure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's dialing him, ladies and gents, but he's not picking up yet. So we'll wait for him to either pick up or whatever. We will continue to move on with the questions. Like I said, we're gonna kind of speed through the stupid questions because we want to get to the good ones. Are you there, McNabb?
Hello.
Welcome to the stream, McNabb. For those of you that don't know, Twisted, of course, is on PS4 and PWA. McNabb is on the Xbox in FFW.
I'll give people 2 guesses of what call I use.
And for those of you that don't know, McNabb is Scottish, right? Is it Scottish?
Yes.
Yeah, Scottish. He's a
So 10 points for anyone that understands me.
He's a Scottish bastard.
So he has to understand me, and I'm Scouse. So.
Oh, thank fuck for that, like. Thank fuck for that. You know what? I was actually down there this weekend, like. You know.
Oh yeah.
I was actually down there.
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking
How
about.
unfortunate for you.
Yeah, I was at the Bootle Cricket Club.
Jesus Christ, I live. I want to say 20 minutes from Bootle.
Oh hell no! I was staying at the Premier Inn. That's it's near the Kirby police station.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's where I was.
He was in the police station. That's what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen. He was in the police station being arrested for indecent exposure, probably.
Sorry about that, Die Hard. It's just I'm part Scouse, and this guy's Scouse, so yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's it's whatever. All right.
All I'm gonna say is red or blue.
Neither.
He's yellow.
Fair enough. He's yellow.
No, don't get me wrong. If I had to pick one, it'd be blue, because I'm actually from Everton. Like I was born in Everton, but neither.
You know, Twisted, I think going forward, every time we get a new question, I'm gonna do a thing on the harmonica.
I was actually brought up as a Chelsea fan from way back in the 90s before they had money. So if anyone goes, "Oh, Glory Hunter," no, they didn't have money when I supported them.
All right. So now it's time to get back to the podcast at hand, ladies and gents. Somebody said sometime last week, I'm assuming this was 3 days ago, so that would have been Sunday, Monday, somewhere in there. Is PWA only on the PS4? Yes, PWA is only on the PS4. If so, do you know of any Xbox shows? Well, there is this one called FFW. I hear it's run by this guy named Die Hard.
I don't know who the owner is.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Eddie was a jobber.
Yeah, I heard he's a real prick.
This is gonna sound really bad, but I didn't even know that we had a podcast until it popped up on my phone that you were live on Twitch.
I only talk about it in the chat like every Wednesday, but that's okay.
By the time, alright, I have no time to read through everything. As soon as I get match cards, I read that, but I don't read through everything. By the time I wake up, it's like, okay, there's so much stuff here. You know, fuck it, mark read all done.
Well, see, sometimes you miss the meat and potatoes of the conversation. All right, so yeah, there's FFW on Xbox. I honestly don't know of any other Xbox shows other than FFW. So.
Neither do I.
Well, there's RTG, isn't there? And CTO.
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean there's CTO and RTG, but.
I mean.
But FFW we're at.
I mean, this is the most attention his league will ever get, but I mean, Bomber has one.
That is true. I totally forgot about that. Bomber has Aaron Bomber
I don't know
has
what
his.
it's called though, so don't really pay attention to him.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it.
And Bob, if you hear that, me saying that you don't get attention isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, man, I really don't know the name of your show.
This is going to be a really bad pun, but it's a bomb tackle league.
That's not nice. Don't say say stuff like that. That's not nice, McNabb. Why are you saying stuff like that?
Yeah, you're gonna make us look like bad guys.
Yeah, don't make us all look like bad guys. You can be the good guy. Me and Twisted will be the bad guys here. Okay, we're the heels here. You can be the face. We're the you be the John Cena. Okay, we're the heel Nation of Domination Rock.
Okay, you two need to drop to me while I go Super Saiyan and, you know, Shag Brie Bell or Nikki Bella, whichever one.
So here's a good one. Why contracts, bro? LOL. Submitted 1 day ago.
Okay.
We're gonna
get into this now.
Before we get into it though, I want to preface this by saying what we're saying now. We're giving you guys the outline of why, because we do the contracts to protect ourselves and to protect the people that are wrestling on the shows.
No, basically, the contract is there because me and Die Hard felt that it was only, well, Die Hard's done it before me, but in PWA, it affected both of us, and we felt that it was only fair that if people are going to put time and effort into making a league with us, then any money we get for that league, even if it's tiny, even if it's like 5p, well, we'll split all 5p up and everyone will get 1p. The money isn't irrelevant, it's just the gesture to it, it's the idea of it. It's just being fair. That's all the contract is. I mean, it's literally just an agreement so people don't get fucked over. Like, if PWA ever did take off, which it might not, it might, I don't know. But if it did take off, then we could actually make some decent money, which means if we make some decent money, then everybody in PWA should be entitled to that.
Exactly.
So that agreement is there. And yes, it might not be a lot now, and I'm not saying it's a lot now. The money is irrelevant. It could be 2p, it could be 100 quid. It would be irrelevant. It's just the agreement so nobody gets fucked over. That's the only reason as a contract. That's it.
Yeah, it's just our way of giving back to those that are putting in the time and the effort on the shows. Like people like McNabb. McNabb has been working with me since, 2012? Somewhere in there, McNabb? Right?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And he's done a lot of matches that he didn't have to do. You know, he's come through in some pretty tight binds, some pretty tight positions. And so it's a way to say thank you to people for keeping the storylines going and keeping things, flowing the way that they should flow. That's why. It's just it's a way, like, if somebody throws a temper tantrum, then they can't be like, well, you can't use my car. Especially if they bail in the middle of a storyline.
Because, and
go ahead.
Everyone getting offended by it, dude, we could do anything at this point and you'd be offended. If we did the greatest thing and we saved a fucking village of orphans, you'd still hate us. Like, fuck him. Fucking saving people, prick.
Exactly. You guys are saving people and shit.
It doesn't matter what we do at this point. You're gonna hate us regardless. Like, we could do the nicest thing and you'd still hate us. So, I don't see why other people are complaining. Like, don't get me wrong, and I hate a name drop here, but I understand Frisco. I could understand why he was agitated because he wanted to book Calvin. I get that. Tough shit. It happens. Move on. Grow up. But, like, everyone else, it doesn't affect you whatsoever. So you're just crying over spilt milk.
Yeah, a little cup of spilt milk, a little 2-ounce cup, a little small cup. Not a big 12-ounce can of Pepsi. I was going to do this next question, but it's a mute point to refer to. I'll say what the question was, but we're just going to pass this one. But it says, F that ungrateful little asshat Carter. He was just a roleplay fag anyways. Submitted 1 day ago by Anonymous.
I mean,
that's not how I personally feel about Carter. Like, I had really big plans going forward for him, and he knew what the plans were, so unfortunately he just made a bad decision. That's what it is. Yeah, shit happens. It's just the way it is. So our next question, on a lighter note, do you plan on streaming the next CPV, pay-per-view, or IPV? Yes.
See, we would.
I am. I'm going to do them. I'm going to stream them.
I was going to say, the reason why we didn't do it beforehand was literally because whenever Die Hard was streamed, someone would try and DDoS him. So it was just pointless.
Just so everybody knows, I do got that IP logger running right now. So if you do try to DDoS me, I'll know. Just want to put that out there. I ran it last week. Nobody DDoSed me, so I'm going to keep running it. If that's going to deter whoever was DDoSing me or trying to, if it's going to deter you, good. Because I enjoy not having to rely on just one internet connection. I like having both of them running just in case. So I'll continue to run that, guys. So hopefully our streams will continue to stay up. But yes, Reckoning is our next pay-per-view, CPV, internet pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. That is our next event. It's going to be a collaboration between FFW and PWA. And right now the runtime, I think, is about an hour and a half, I think. I haven't fully checked the numbers yet, but it's going to be streamed, and it'll be available on YouTube after, of course. Like, instantly after. It won't be a day later. It'll be available as soon as the stream is over. And it'll be a midday stream in the U.S., so this way those over in the UK, Australia, it's not, 2 o'clock in the morning when it comes out for you guys. So it'll be maybe 10 o'clock at night or something. Just depends.
I have a question.
Okay, what is your question?
Do I get to share a couple of beers with Jared Graham again?
That is something we're gonna do the pre-show. I pieced together the matches for the pre-show, but there's still some other things I got to do for the pre-show yet. So there's like I said, we've got about 75% of the stuff done. We've got just about 25% left, and it's just little tidbits and a couple more matches that have to be put together with the rest of the shows. But other than that, everything's almost ready to go. So like I said, we were shooting like last week. Me and Twisted said maybe by the end of the month. That's looking like a real time frame. Like that's actually looking like that's how it's going to happen. I'm assuming that our first episode is probably going to come out on March, or episode 6 of FFW will come out March 29th. Because this year I've been in this really motivated kind of editing mood, and when I start editing something, I continue to edit it until it's finished. So it's just one of those things. It's been working out very well so far this year, and I'm hoping I can keep that momentum going. So hopefully we can have the shows out by like the 29th. It might be a couple of days after that, or it might be a week after. But we'll let you know as we draw closer. You know, like I said, we're at about 75% done with everything. All the voiceover spots are done. All the really important meat and potatoes are done. We're just kind of putting in the little add-ons and all the little fancy little tidbits for everybody to enjoy. So it's right around the corner, literally, and it'll be a whole month worth of shows that'll be coming out, and they'll come out weekly. Like it'll be episode 6 of FFW on Monday, episode 6 of PWA on Friday, episode 7 the following Monday of FFW, and then PWA on Friday that following week. It'll just boom, 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 right in sync with each other. And the shows line up, guys. They literally line up with each other when you see them. You're going to see them, and you're going to want to watch both shows because there's tidbits on both shows that get mentioned.
I'm not gonna lie, when he went boom, 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 I was expecting you to finish the song and he didn't. So
Yeah, I was actually about to start doing it, and I was like, no, just don't. I was like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
So we got a question here, and since there's 3 of us, you're gonna get 3 different opinions, but they're gonna be 3 very similar opinions. Tips for someone looking to get started in sim. I think this is a good one. So who wants to start? Do you want to start, or do you want me to start, or?
I mean, I'm not in a position to tell anyone else to get started in sim.
Actually, okay, I'll start, but actually, Twisted is more than able to. He's in a very great position to, because he himself started out in it, so he does very well in it. But what I would say is just watch. Like when you first start, you want to replicate some of your favorites. Of course, everybody wants to replicate their favorites, but you want to watch their material, but you want to converge that into your own kind of thing. And sometimes it's hard to do it in the games. Like the game doesn't respond correctly, or it does something entirely different. But when you're getting started out, it's really easy to get
carried away.
Yeah, to get carried away, or if somebody critiques you, then all of a sudden you start thinking, well, F them, they don't know what they're talking about. But honestly, sometimes they do. It just depends on the person, obviously. Some people just say harsh things just to say harsh things, but...
Welcome to this community.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome.
Like, there's nothing else more to say than just that's the community for you, man. It's just something you have to figure out.
That is very true. This is a very interesting community. It's a very cutthroat community, but at the same time, if you're starting out in it, the best I can always tell you is connect with as many people as you can. And
see,
I don't mean it.
See,
I don't mean like, go and kiss everybody's ass. I mean, if you can try to get matches with people, then you get a good idea of how everybody plays. Now, if you can play against anybody and have a good match, that makes you good, in my opinion. If you can carry a match from beginning to end with anybody, and I mean, it could be the most seasoned veteran, I hate saying seasoned veteran, or the beginner of the beginners, the guy that just picked up his controller, is just now getting interested in it, doesn't really get the whole idea of beginning, middle, and end. If you can have an all right match. Yeah, we do. We know somebody like that very, very well.
No, what I would say is, I would probably start messing around with your friends first. Like I wouldn't just go, oh, I want to stim. Let's go to a
Right,
show.
right. Yeah, you want to start local. Like start local with your buddies.
Because you got like, sorry, I'm messing about anyway. Because what you got to realize is a lot of people are different. Everyone has a different opinion on simming. If you go to someone like, I don't know, Strider, he prefers more strong style. That's fine. If you go to someone more like Biff when he was around, he prefers more comedic and story based. If you go to someone like, I don't know, there's tons of people. Everyone has their own little niche of things they like to do. And you just gotta find what niche is good for you. So I would mess about with friends to figure that out. And then once you figure that out, I'd probably, as I said last week to someone, I'd probably just learn pacing. Because if you can pace, then you know how to build up a match, pretty much.
Exactly. And also, we got a question. Another question came in. Huh? Yeah, that's how I'm going to do that from now on. I'm going to have it on my desk like every podcast. Hopefully I don't lose this thing.
Seriously have a harmonica?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Melinda walked up and she was playing with it, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I just realized on this harmonica, it's got numbers on the top, like 1 through
Okay.
10. That's pretty cool.
So I'm guessing my turn now to answer this question.
Yes, yes, it is your turn to answer the question.
Well, alright. Me, I would say the local thing is pretty decent to start off with. Yes, I will agree with that part. And going to people is also very handy as well, that know how to do it. Like me, you can come to the school of McNabb for only $9.99 a month. Anywho, yeah. Usually it's kind of like that. You know, you go with some people that know how to sim. If you've got friends that know how to sim, then you kind of go with the guys that really know how to do it. And then you start talking with them in matches, blah blah blah. And you face them so many times that all you have to do is make one little peep, or like 1 or 2 peeps, and then for the rest of the match you know what you're doing, or blah blah blah, because you know each other's play style
But
quite
again,
well. For example,
I sorry to cut you off, but again, you've got to remember a lot. I just figured it came into my mind that you were saying. A lot of people have, because their opinions are different. A lot of people go, "Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't do that." Like a lot of people think PWA is bad. I don't really care, but I think other things are bad because we have different opinions to it. So it's kind of like,
well,
everyone's opinion. It depends. You just have to find your own opinion on it, really. That's all I could really say. I mean, I could give off tips of like, okay, you could use this theory and this will help you, but it's like that theory might be wrong to someone else. So.
oh no, I didn't mean it in like sort of. I meant as in like, wouldn't you find your niche, like you said, with playing
Oh
with
no,
people?
I wasn't countering yours. I was just adding
Oh.
to yours.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I was gonna say because like I find it like, you know, usually I talk to people like if I'm doing a match or something, and I say okay, I kind of like, or sometimes beforehand, if somebody has not really done much stuff, is like, okay, I like to do this part and this part and this part, and then they're like, okay, well I like to do this, and we're like, okay, we'll try and pull it off, and if we do a match before, say we know in a week in advance or something that we've got a match next week. This is how I used to do it. We would go into a match and go, okay, let's see how this looks, and then we'd kind of talk about, what do you think about that? And then if we kind of go, or then it's like, okay, let's try this. Huh, that worked.
I mean,
what do you think about it? That looks good. Awesome.
Yeah. In the sense of like the matches I do in PWA, Die Hard to be like, okay, this is a finish, go do it, and I'm like, I mean, I'll try and fit it in, but if it doesn't seem natural, you're not getting it. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not happening. Like, there's one point where he wanted me to go out to the outside and run around the ring, and I was like, that seemed so forced. It was like we tried to do that. It was obvious we tried to do that. I wanted it to be like smooth, like, okay, now it fits to do this. So we never got it, but I give him something similar, which is more natural.
Exactly,
to
it was a much more natural finish than what was written, and it worked out much better. And if anybody can figure out what that was, what episode that was, because I remember exactly what episode that was. If anybody can figure it out, I will give you an e-cookie. I will make you a picture of a cookie that has no eat marks on it. I will give you an e-cookie.
I'd give people a hint because, you know, they're going to need a hint if you're going to do that. The person I was did a taunt by the ring post.
Yeah, so if you've watched PWA and if you remember that match, it's only happened one time like that where he taunted by the corner ring post. So
And that match still is ongoing story wise. So
yeah, it's still going story wise too. All right, are we ready for the next question?
I was going to add one more point.
Okay.
And if you're some guy that likes to take notes sometimes, or like to watch the matches and go, okay, this looks kind of cool, and kind of like if there's certain spots in matches of watching other people's matches that you like. A good example of a decent sim match, which I was part of, would be the Cypher vs James McKay Part 1.
Yes, the match that ended in a draw in 2013.
Another thing I would say is a lot of your match, and this is before you even do a match, a lot of the things you do is going to be based around your character. Even if you do strong stat, your character's going to have strong characteristics that apply to him. So, for example, when I play a character, some of my characters have the sidewalk slam because it looks arrogant, and I have mostly heals. So I try to fit that into my matches because it makes my guy look like a dick. That moves like that, going through your moveset and finding moves that fit your character well, is pretty much most of the match. Because then if you can pace them and you can work them into matches, you've got a character. You've got a character. You can basically, after pacing, you can build it up and voila.
Yeah, it's like you got your moves like the sidewalk slam. Scythe, when I used him, has the 3 kicks in the midsection. It's like one's when they're like facing up, and then the other one's when they're on their front, and then kicks them back over to their front again.
Well, originally when I was doing my moveset, I had help from Barnett, so he was like, use this, and it'll be perfect. And then once I kind of got that down, once I got the idea that, okay, because originally he was just going to be sleazy as fuck and do all these disgusting type of sex moves, and this is based off Finkelstein, but he was like, nah, dude, your guy looks arrogant. You shouldn't do that. You should be arrogant. He should run away and be a bitch. And I went, that's perfect. So then I added that and kind of meshed the two together. That's why he has the Bronco Buster in the corner.
That's why he's such a sleazy, arrogant man. And Billings hates him.
Yeah, so like I have moves that basically it just adds to the character. That's the only reason they're there. Like, I think he has a diva move, whatever move it is, where he puts the head between the knees and drops down and then does a pin. That's a diva move. But it's like, it just adds to his character. So things like that. Once you build up a character and you know how to play him, you're pretty much good to go.
I concur. I agree. All right.
I agree.
Our next.
But if you do wanna go somewhere, I wouldn't advise going to these other leagues because they're very judgmental. I'm not trying to say this because it's us, but I'd probably go to FFW because most of the people in there are going to try and help you more than if you go to like other shows, they'll be like, that guy's shit. Why is he even here?
Example,
So
me trying to help
FFW, you won't get that. Yeah, if you go to FFW, you won't get that.
Yeah, because we had this one guy. I tried to take him to the school meeting, but he always played on another game, so he'd never show up for it.
Is that the same guy we're on about, Die Hard?
Yeah, that was Anderson.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Mr. Anderson. God, why'd you have to bring him up, McNabb? I was having such a good day.
See, me and Die Hard, you did that with him. Me and Die Hard were trying to help Arlen out, and
Oh, hell.
yes, even you know.
Okay, on to the next question, please, before we show our brains out here.
All right. Any new talent signed? Yes to both shows, actually. Well, I mean, for FFW, we've got a couple
I
of.
think one of the new talents is watching now. Did you put the link into the chat so we could watch it like you said he wanted to?
I did not put the link in the chat. I did
Well,
not.
should get onto that.
That's probably why we. That's all right. I'll put that in there. We have some new guys or some familiar faces, older faces that are joining FFW, as well as a new guy that's coming on board.
Which is someone that I'm very familiar with.
Exactly. And
Whatever you do, people, do not give him your towels. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, hell.
Oh, hell. But yeah, so we definitely have. We've got some new people coming in, but for anybody who's interested, don't be afraid to express your interest, because this would be the ideal time for you to get on board. Since we haven't written stuff going into next month yet. So this would be the ideal time, or the next set of match cards. So it would be episode 11 through 15. This would be the ideal time to come on board, so then we can start working you on the house shows, and then we can start working you onto the main show. So this would be that time.
Does anyone in PWA have the standing cutter?
No one has that stupid move.
Okay then.
although I'm sure if we allowed Rebel to have that, he'd have that on every single fucking character.
I know, right?
Basically what he does.
I'm just wondering, because if I ever get the PS4, there's one person I might end up using there if I decide to get a PS4.
Ooh.
And Die Hard already knows who it is.
All right, so this is a hashtag that has been used over the past couple of days. Me and Dave know this one all too well.
Sim money.
Yep. Hashtag things I can buy with Sim Money. Things I can buy with Sim Money is a free Ask FM account.
Well, then you're not buying one because it's free, you dickhead.
Well,
Genius.
exactly, it's free. So I'm buying it. It's free, so I'm buying it. Yeah, I don't know. What can you buy with Sim Money?
You could save up and afford to get a life instead of asking stupid questions on Ask FM.
I mean, I could always buy like one of those headphone jacks that goes to 1/4 inch, like the the little headphone adapter into the big one. Although I have like 30 million of them laying around.
Hey, you might be able to buy a case for your harmonica.
Oh my God, I have something to save up for. A nice fancy case, and I'm gonna get Die Hard embroidered on it.
No, get Sim Money embroidered on it.
Okay, next question. Thoughts on WTW episode? I'm assuming episode 1. It says WTW 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like they spelled it WON. Like you won a competition. There was no competition in the first place. So.
Okay.
Question mark.
I don't know. I'm assuming they meant, what did we think of WTW 1? I thought that it was poo poo. Die Hard is my. I said I thought that WTW was poo poo.
Mic cut out again.
What do you mean it cut out again? Everybody else can hear me.
I can hear you now, but your mic's cutting in and out.
Well, I don't know why. It shouldn't be. Is it good now? Are we good?
Yeah, but it's really bad quality.
I can hear you.
It should.
It's good quality for me.
Yeah, it says our quality's fine.
Oh, it's probably my Skype then. Continue.
Okay. But I thought WTW 1 was poo-poo. And also, I Am the Danger has said, Die Hard is my hero, have my babies. I don't want to have any more babies. No more babies. No more babies. But
I will say this. I thought WTW was trash. And that's not because of any personal feelings to anyone. Like, if I was to step away from it, it would still be trash. But personal feelings aside, I will give, I know we said not to mention his name, but we're not going to mention it in a bad way. I will give Clark a shout out for shouting out PWA on that update video.
That is
I was
true.
told about that. And as much as I think you're a prick, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
I don't even know what WTW is, because I usually just pay attention to. I just usually pay attention to stuff that that the league that I'm in, because I'm like, well, I'm in here, so I may as well pay attention to it and watch it.
All right,
and see
so
what things are doing.
I think that this question is directly toward me, but how long have you been making shows? I have been making shows long before the YouTube stuff, so a lifetime is what it feels like, because I used to do it with a little camcorder and my buddies, and we'd actually do. That was the old school multiplayer. It wasn't playing on PSN or Xbox Live. You would go to the store and spend $35.99 on the PS2 multi-tap or the PlayStation multi-tap. That's how you did multiplayer, okay? That's how you did it. And you had to have memory cards, and you'd swap cars like that. That's how you did it. That was multiplayer.
So basically back when the Die Hard character had hair.
That's not funny. That's not funny at all. Why would you say something like that?
Not even when a Die Hard character had hair, when he had hair.
Ooh, okay, all right. Well, I've been doing it for a lifetime, okay? That's how long I've been doing it, forever. Okay, so the next question is, and this is at Twisted. This is the good question we wanted to get to. How do you feel you have progressed since joining Die Hard show? Is it a good progression?
How do I feel how I've progressed?
Yeah, how do you feel that you have progressed since joining the show? Is it a good progression, a bad progression? Also, how do you feel being on the other side of the coin compared to playing competitive all the time? That was the question. Or it's two questions in one.
I mean, I don't really think this a progression because all I'm doing is playing fair competitive against people, and people are seeing it as sim. It's literally like, that's why I play mostly heals because I take the control because I'm used to that in comp. So all I'm doing is playing fair comp and letting people get moves, and that's all I'm doing. So I don't think there is a progression because I'm just playing the same as I always did, unless it was a noob match. Die hard, 2 minutes. Anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Well, no, I don't really think there is a progression. But if I mean, all being on a show has made me do is progressively hate Core more and more and more. So there's that progression, but I already hated Core, so.
Exactly. All right. So somebody left a question. They said it wasn't really a question. They told us to have a good stream, lads. I'm assuming that was exactly. Thank you.
Probably Tinder Boy.
That's right. Probably Mr. Tinder Boy who's sitting in the chat right now. But
shouts out to Stewie.
That's
I'm
right.
call you Stewie from now on.
Stewie. So here's a good question. This was our most recent question. Why do you think Hollywood Ron Corleone hasn't caught fire in FFW yet? Two things, or two reasons, I would say. And also, Stewie says Tinder life in the chat. But I would say two reasons. There's been a little bit of a time discrepancy between being able to book Ron and things like that. And it's really hard to book somebody really strong if you're not 100% sure if they can give 100% of their time to that part of the show. And so hopefully, I mean, Ron and myself have talked about it, so hopefully going forward, some of that will start to change. I still think he was booked relatively strong. I mean, he did, run amok, and he did have some pretty open-ended promos where he was able to say, like, nobody else did any promos against Jerry Graham except for Ron in the January match cards. So, I mean, he's still got a pretty good run, even if it was just in promo work. But hopefully going forward, we can, build his character up more and have him maybe come out on top a little bit more. I mean, he did. He came on board, and he literally got thrown into a storyline where there was three white dudes beating up one black man. That's a hate crime.
Oh man.
That is a straight up hate crime. But it's okay because I love black people. I hate Mexicans. I hate Mexicans. That's what I hate. I love black people. I love exactly. I love black people. I love white people. I love Asian people. I love Vietnamese people. I love people from Laos. But I hate the Mexicans. I almost feel like I am pro. What's his nuts?
Trump?
Yeah, pro-Trump. I almost feel like I'm pro-Trump, but I actually don't like Trump. Like, I'm not a big supporter of him, but don't get me wrong. The thing is,
I like how you went.
I know.
What's his name? You went. What's his nuts? I don't know. Why am I gonna know what Trump's nuts like?
I'm like snapping my fingers like you're next to me. I'm like, I was holding my arm out like you're next to me. I was like, think about it, Twist. Come on, say it. but yeah. So, like, I'm not a big supporter of Trump, but I don't know. As I was growing up, I grew up in a very white. I grew up in very white neighborhoods up until I was a teenager, and then it got more diverse and mixed. Because up until I was 12 years old, I was the only darker complected kid in my class. Like, everybody else was really, really white. We had one black kid, and then me. We were the darkest complexion people. I was like, wow, I would look a lot darker than you, man. And he's like, yeah, I've lived here my whole life. And I was like, so have I. But the thing is, my grandfather was from Mexico. He moved to Texas. My grandfather then moved up here to where I live in Michigan, and he met my grandmother, and then she was a white lady. And obviously, when a white lady gets with a Mexican man, you get like a 50% Mexican child, and then it just, as generations progress, less and less Mexican is in there. So.
And there we have the life of Die Hard.
That's right. The life of Die Hard. Don't you forget it.
But about the booking about Ron as well. Like sometimes you don't want to book people like that as well. An awful lot. Well, you kind of do, but at the same time you don't want to overbook them because it's like what happened to Titan. Well, when I was using Titan back in the day, like you kind of got a bit overbooked, and then we kind of ran out of ideas what to do with them.
That is true. We and that's a very, very good example because some of you may not know, but when McNabb first joined, He came in as Titan, which was a 7-foot, 300-pound man, or I think 320 or whatever we had billed him as. He was a big dude. He was a big, strong dude, and we ran him through all these matches. We had him do like this weird tables match. I remember, me and McNabb were screaming at the Xbox when this happened because we're talking like I kept getting off the table and stuff, and the match wasn't that good.
Hold up. So, Tinder Boy said, "Is this geezer Scottish?" No, he's fucking Jamaican, you idiot. Of course he is, you twat.
Yeah, man. How's it going, man? I'm Scottish.
But yeah, and so here's what happened with the Titan character. I didn't have anything to do to write for the Titan character, and I told McNabb, I was like, I don't have anything for Titan. I have nothing. I was like, so these are your choices. We can either part ways, and this was, I think, at the beginning of 2013, or I was like, you can come to me with something else. And he came to me with Scythe, the character Scythe, and we rolled from that. Maybe it was later in the year of 2013, because I want to say it was around summer of 2013, so it was probably around that time. But yeah, so it's just, with Ron, I've known Ron, we were on and off, prior to, then we became friends and stuff, and we're still friends, and he's still on the show. He's not fired or released or anything like that. He's booked, on the shows in February, and he's going to be booked on the shows in March. He actually just came to me earlier today with an idea, and I think we're going to run with that idea. I just got to hammer out the details of it, obviously, and it's going to take a while for that one to fully happen, but it will happen, and that's the thing, anybody who's on either show, if they come to me with their idea, if it's an idea that I can make happen, I will do everything I can to make it happen. I will, bend over backwards to try to appease the people on the show, because if people on the show are happy, that makes me happy, because then it makes them more likely to do the things that they have to do. Yeah, they're more motivated to get their stuff done.
Now, with me in Hollywood, no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
The recent events that me and you have done, Die Hard, has made me quite happy for that one.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel kind of bad, because there was, here's people asked last week. I have an idea for the show. Upload it.
Well,
I love this guy. I love this guy. He's my friend.
Maybe, to be fair, it probably would be uploaded if someone hadn't got kicked out of their house. Not saying no names.
That is true. That is very true. The shows probably would have already went up. But here's somebody had asked that question last week.
If anyone thinks that one of us got kicked out of our house we hadn't, it's someone else.
Yeah, it was someone else. There was somebody had asked this question last week, but they said, can you give us some behind the scenes or insight to either one of the shows? I'll give you some insight into FFW right now. This is the real, I'm going to quote Oscar Van Brett on this one, but the realest possible talk here. We wrote out, and nothing against Oscar for saying that. I just like saying it because I think it's funny how it's realest possible talk. But we had written out the February match cards. We had written them with Genesis and Strike Zone. So that would have been 8 shows just in amongst those, plus the PWA shows, plus the pay-per-views. Well, we sat on those cards for what was it, McNabb? 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that?
Yeah.
Not a single match was done. Nothing was done. So I had to go in, and I got really pissy with everybody in the chat. I said, you know what? We're going to cut it down to just 1 show a week. And so we cut it down to just Genesis. So then I had to rewrite the match cards with the, trying to tie the storylines back in together. And so I tied all the storylines in the best I could, and then I had to make some other small adjustments because of recent events, which is okay. It was only small little changes, but that is insight right there. We literally had to rewrite. I rewrote the match cards in a day and a half.
I mean, shit, look what happened with the first 4 episodes.
Exactly. It's so if people want insight into doing a cause show or want to see what the real nitty-gritty of it is like, go ahead and make your own show. And when you start putting that show out...
Not even that. Just go ahead and Google the word stress. There you go.
Exactly, stress. Well, then, because... And I'm not even trying to mention Clark here, but he had said something... Or maybe it wasn't Clark. Maybe it was somebody else. But somebody had said something about having a job. I have a job, too. I go to work every single night of the week. I work every night. I had Monday off because it was President's Day or whatever, which was cool, but I didn't really take the day off. I still went into work that night. So, yeah, I work a normal job. I work third shift hours. I work the worst hours in the world. So when I get home, it's already almost, noon for Twisted, And
Yeah,
it's...
when he gets home, it's like, I want to say like 1 o'clock in the afternoon for me.
Exactly. So I stay up for...
And then he goes to sleep, and then he doesn't wake up till like 5 o'clock for me. So then if we've got any matches to do, I have to usually do it, because by then he has some food, probably goes out, does some things. So then he's usually on about 9. And then he has to go about, I want to say 11:30.
Exactly, and that's the thing. So, like, if it's... Like, when it comes to the show, if I've got to be on, like, if I know that we got a lot of stuff to do, you bet your ass I will force myself to stay awake. I've done it before. I stayed awake one day.
Yeah, stayed awake with me.
All
day.
Yeah, it was the entire day, and I went back into work.
Me and him pulled a full all-nighter. Just doing shit that we had to do.
And that's the thing, like, it's not that we don't have a life, it's just we know that the stuff's got to get done. And if we don't get it done right then, like, at that time, it ain't never going to get done.
I mean, I say that, but we were just playing Call of Duty for all day. But, we had to do that.
Exactly, we had to keep ourselves awake. And the thing was, we did go on WWE a couple of times when we did that. We did.
Yeah, the servers.
The servers were being stupid, and they were frustrating us, and we're like, you know what? Instead of trying to break our games, let's go play Call of Duty. Let's just go shoot some people.
All I'm going to say about servers is no one can get as frustrated as I have been. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
you have no idea.
I don't know. McNabb couldn't. He could, like, in January, McNabb could not hook up to a single multi-man match. If there was ever more than one person, he got kicked out of the session, or they got kicked out. It was just horrible.
You know what? It was like that for Rage as well.
Oh, that would suck so bad. Like,
I think I didn't put, like, I know that there was matches done. I think I did like a couple one-on-one matches, but then after that I was like, yeah, I'm not going to WWE until I get out, like, unless I can do one-on-one matches. But anything else, I'm like, yeah, WWE can go rot in the corn thingy dust until they fix that shit.
well, exactly, and that's the thing, and like, it's one of those things. I want to have the podcast be a positive place of interaction, and I know we're going to get stupid questions until the end of time, because it's just, that's the way it happens, and people just always try to be a troll or whatever. But we're not doing the podcast to have negativity. We're doing it to have fun. It's just something is
if we want negativity, we'd just go and tweet.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we do see some of the tweets that some people, like, I saw the interactions that some people have tried making to me and stuff. I really don't have a reason to respond to them. Like, what does it benefit? Nothing. It doesn't benefit me at all. And so all I'm going to keep doing is just keep cranking out the shows, because, like I said, we're literally 75% done with stuff. I just got to do a couple of video packages, which I'm hopefully going to start working on those either tomorrow sometime or else today or tonight. And, yeah, I mean, like I said, just a couple more matches need to be pieced together, and the shows will be ready to go for commentary, so
Woo.
That's what I'm saying. It has been less than a month. Like, when we announced our break, we had already had the match cards written, and we had a couple of matches recorded, but we didn't have a lot of it done. Since then...
In the past week.
Yeah, in the past week, we ended up getting everything finished.
Which is why I don't understand, like, I understand people saying, oh, we have jobs this and that, but there's people in PWA that work full-time, but we still get stuff done. And we've not only just done one show, most shows only do, like, and I'm not trying to trash any other shows, but most shows only do, like, a show a month. We've done 4 episodes in a week.
Exactly, and that's per show. So we've got 4 episodes for PWA, 4 episodes for FFW.
Like, I did all my matches from top to bottom for numerous weeks, and I had to sit there doing, what was it? How many promos did I have to do?
I want to say it was, 6 promo, or it was 6 or 7 total promos, in their entirety. And speaking of promos, big props to Melinda. She did 22 different voiceovers in the span of like 30 minutes.
Yeah, so we get shit done, unlike other leagues.
I want a promo.
Oh. Give us your best Americanized accent, McNabb.
Really? Americanized?
Do it.
Oh, hell. Why am I? Oh, just
Like right now, do it.
Okay, let me get my fruit sword, okay? It takes fucking effort to get my fruit sword for this.
It doesn't take
You have to
effort.
get, you have to get your throat. I can do an American accent just right off the bat. You're right now.
Right
Really?
now.
I don't see why you're struggling so much.
Ralph
Yeah,
Bat
sit
here.
there.
Ralph Bat. Is that all you're saying? Ralph Bat.
God, you guys are just like the hillbilly Americans, man. No offense to hillbillies.
Well, I mean, there's also...
Or I've got this one as well.
We're waiting.
2 seconds. I need to get the voice wrong because it hurt my throat when I do it. So 2 seconds. At
Cue-
WrestleMania, you will rest in peace.
Oh my god. That actually almost sounded like it. Almost.
I used to be able to do Troy McClure's voice from Simpsons. Can't do it anymore though. Used to be able to do Duffman's too. Duffman.
Duffman. Oh yeah.
Duffman. Ooh, yeah.
You know, I kind of wish that Devin was on the podcast tonight because he could have done his Duke Nukem impression, and he actually sounds like Duke Nukem when he does it. It's very good.
Now, excuse me, I need to have an iron brew because my throat is slightly hurting now after that.
So Scottish. You are literally 100% Scottish right now. Like originally, Pop Scouts. No, as soon as you put the Iron Brew out, 100% Scottish.
Well, you're gonna be
Top
bad
to
at this, right? You're gonna be bad at this. There's only 4 bottles of iron brew. These are the what size are these? Like the 250 milliliters, right? And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cans of Monster.
That's literally like the Iron Brew and you is like me going, we're about just gonna go steal a car. 1 sec. Because that's the stereotype of people from Liverpool.
Yeah. Or you go out in your colours, 1 or 2.
Yeah, I go out with pajamas and, you know.
In his pajamas.
Or
To be fair.
Or get pushed around in a trolley.
Yeah. To be fair though, like they don't even bat an eye now these days. Like you can walk bloody down the street with a bloody HGTV and you'd be like, alright, you must have bought it down the street somewhere.
No, they don't. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Unless it's like a kid, no one cares. Like the other day, I was telling Die Hard, my friend shared a article on Facebook. Someone up the road from me quite literally went into his neighbor's house, like broke in, stole the furniture, and then just walked it back to his house and was like, yeah, got some new furniture. And legitimately tries to live in his house with their furniture right next door to them.
Yeah, that actually happens.
That is so great though, like.
Oh,
Can you imagine that just walking past? Oh, they've got a nice settee. Fine.
Something like this. I've seen something like this. I was watching something like that on like the top 10 like police raids sort of thing, like when people have been streaming on Twitch, and it's like one guy was like, because there was a lot of noise or something. Like some people phoned up the cops on him because they heard gunshots, which was coming through speakers, whatever it is. So they phoned up the police. He got arrested, right? The police forgot to close his door properly, and his next door neighbors came in trying to steal all his stuff while getting caught on this Twitch camera. It's like, that's brilliant.
Oh, also, I just want to put this out there. You know, going forward, for anybody who's interested in being on the podcast with us, it's an open invitation. Like, we're not, even if it's people we don't really talk to, if you got something to say and want to be on the podcast.
Obviously, I will say now, if you're someone we don't like, don't expect it.
So you tell me I can Skype my dad to ask if he was coming to this chat.
I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm trying to be as open about it as I can, but if it is somebody that we don't exactly get along with, don't expect the most positive reception from me. I won't try to be 100% cold, but
I will.
Not gonna lie. I know that he'll get along with Dad, and you'll get along with Dad if I was to ever invite him into Skype chat or something, because he's exactly like me.
Well, like I said, I mean, I won't try to be 100% cold, but I'm a cold person in general, so naturally I'm gonna have that kind of cold kind of demeanor, and it's just.
So you're a lizard.
Exactly, I'm a reptile, man, reptile. Actually, that sparks up a good question. I want to ask this: we've all played the Tekken series. Who is your favorite character from the Tekken series?
Liu Young. Simple.
King.
Actually, no. Okay. Are we gonna go from beginning Tekken series or Tekken now? Because they've added so many people.
We can go from beginning until now. It's up to you. I mean, you can.
Well, I'm gonna have to pick two then, because originally in the beginning one, Li Young was my favorite one.
Okay.
Now,
The guy.
I will
sorry.
probably have to go with Harang or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been that long since I played Tekken, but the guy with the I can't remember the name.
Yoshimitsu?
But, yeah.
I loved it how he could impale himself with the sword in Tekken 2. He just
I
impale
love how he
himself.
could sit on the sword. Like,
That is
guy's
true.
best balance. I'm not even mad at him right now.
That guy.
If someone, imagine if you're in a fight, right? Someone's got a sword, and then they randomly just sit on it.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
used
wanna
to be able
right,
to
like, that's actually really good.
and if the guy was like lying down or whatever, you used to be able to like jump on people with it as well. But
Yeah.
no, it was like out of 100 bounds, that guy would have like out of 100 would probably have 300 out of 100 bounds.
This really actually
Like,
makes
to
me
be
want to
honest,
play
I'm
Tekken
really
2 now.
surprised. I'm really surprised that the sword didn't break, because that's his whole entire body weight.
That's what I'm saying. That was
Didn't
his whole
even
body
bend.
weight.
Like that's
Someone,
Jesus Christ.
that's a really strong sword. That's a reinforced sword is what that is.
Well, I just
Although-
I know that we're talking about Tekken here, by the way, but what would be cool if they, you know how they've had like Jason and stuff in Mortal Kombat, you know, it'd be really cool for fatality wise, Wolverine.
Do you know what would be like? I was just want to say, do you know what would be a really good if he was to cross games, right? Do you know who'd be a really good opponent for Yoshimitsu? If you don't say this, Dion, I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm thinking, but if we're not thinking if we're not thinking about the same game, then it would, because are we just doing fighting games? Or are we broadening the
I'm gonna say
spectrum?
Kirby from Super Smash Brothers.
No. I would say if we're talking from the Killer Instinct series, it would be God, what was his name?
No man, that game has such awesome music.
Dude, I'm talking like the first Killer Instinct. Why am I having such a mind blank today? I was fine earlier.
Isn't Killer Instinct also like an arcade game and like that you can usually find in like the arcades or places?
Well,
Probably.
originally Killer Instinct was an arcade game, and then they made Killer Instinct Gold, and then they made Killer Instinct 64, and then Killer Instinct various other ones.
But yeah, that's where, because I remember like seeing it on the Xbox. It was like that name looks familiar, and I was like,
No, to be honest, you both got it wrong. It's not. I wasn't even thinking Killer Instinct.
Wow. Well, who were you thinking?
I said Kirby.
No. Okay, there's two people. Right? One would be Vamp.
Oh, from
the
Metal
other
Gear
person-
Solid.
The other person would be Raiden. Imagine Raiden versus Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, but you'd have to do like Metal Gear Solid 4 Raiden. Like
Yeah. That's what
he couldn't. I was gonna say because he couldn't be the Metal Gear Solid 2 Raiden because he was a pussy.
It could be Rising Raiden,
That is true. He was a super ninja. Hoo-dah!
even though that game was ass.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, it had a good. Okay, it was ass.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, do UFC.
yeah, so UFC. So are we doing a cross between like UFC and fighting games? Is that?
Do UFC. Who's this guy, dude? He's in Skype. Oh my god. I feel like UJ, if you actually stopped looking at Tinder and Snapchat for once and actually looked about and had an idea, you'd know.
And I want to thank all the viewers that have joined us on the stream so far. We're just kind of bantering now, which is okay. I like the banter.
Hashtag banter.
There's lots and lots of banter.
Do UFC versus Yoshi against someone in Tekken. I would have to say Anderson Silva versus Rank. Cool.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I like how I just told. I'm like how I just told UJ who it was, and then Skype goes, "Oh, I get it now."
I get it, mate. I get it, mate. Fight me,
Fuck
mate.
you.
You what, mate?
Or no, actually, no. I would say I wouldn't. He doesn't really do it in the UFC that often. I would probably say Conor McGregor versus Eddie Gordo, because Conor McGregor can do Kapora like Eddie.
I was gonna say Eddie Gordo did Kapora.
Yeah, so does Conor McGregor. He just doesn't do it in UFC.
You know, Phoenix from Tekken 2, 3, and 1.
Paul Phoenix.
Yeah, Paul Phoenix.
He's in all of them.
Yeah, he's in all of them. Did you guys ever see his ending video in Tekken 2?
Probably. I completed it with everyone, but I couldn't tell you what it is now.
I wish that I could get hair like his. His hair was so spiky and so rock hard. Granted, it was only 32-bit polygons, but still.
Still more hair than you have.
Hey,
I've just realized
if I grow out my hair gets curly like a Mexican. That's why I don't grow my hair out.
we in this whole Tekken series, Tekken talk and all that jazz. We've got one decent game, which sure is not to the Tekken standards or the Mortal Kombat standards, but Soul Calibur.
I mean, do you know what? I never played Soul Calibur, but my friend was in the top 10 leaderboard to Soul Calibur for a while.
See, I never.
I have no life to that game. Like, literally no life to I've never seen him play any other game that much in my life.
See, I've never been a big fan of the Soul Calibur series. Like, I never was. I tried, but I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I tried to play it. Like, I thought it was kind of like I watched my brother play it because he knew how to play it properly and stuff like that. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But me, I could play it for shit. But I was just like, when I tried to play it, I was like, this kind of feels like a knockoff between like Mortal Kombat and Tekken mixed into one sort of thing. And I was like, eh. But when you watch other people do it, it's just like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay, here's a real question. Greatest game ever made. Go.
That's a very hard question.
Contra. Game over. Contra. You put in the Konami code, extra lives.
What was the
I
best
mean,
game
I'm pretty sure there's probably better games than that.
Yeah. Fair, I would say the most enjoyable game that I've ever played out of the whole entire history of games that I've played. Well, like, it's probably not the best game ever, but it's the first game I ever completed, and I was about, like, with no help, and I was about, like, 5 or 6 at the time, or maybe 7. Dino Crisis, the first one.
I did not like the first Dino Crisis. I didn't like any of the Dino Crisis games.
That's on completion wise. But the most enjoyable game that I've ever played has to be not the Jurassic Park for the SNES, but the Lost World version. The Lost World version for the Sega.
I would probably say the best game ever is. I don't know. I don't really have a best game ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it was a very awkward question to ask because I mean, I'm like me and Twisted are really big Metal Gear Solid nerds. Like, if somebody was to go into like a call with us and start talking about Metal Gear Solid, we could probably give them the entire story just between the two of us and make it make sense to that person, and they'd never played Metal Gear Solid before in their lives.
I've done that before.
And it's just like I did that with Devin when Devin first played Snake Eater when it did the 360 port. And he's like, wait, so this isn't the first one? I was like, well, chronologically, it's the first one, but game release-wise, it's the third one.
That's also the worst one.
See, that's, like, I don't know, I'm indifferent about it, because if you got the subsistence version of it, you had the thumbstick where you could adjust it to,
I have literally, I have every single, this sounds so sad, but I have every single, like, Marcus copy on PS2. It's not even like I wanted it. It was literally I bought one and they sent me all of them. I was like, oh, well, thanks.
And that's my thing. Like, I liked Metal Gear Solid 3 to an extent, but also it added a whole bunch of, like, it gave the backstory on why Big Boss became Big Boss. And for those of you that haven't beat any of the Metal Gear games, that was a total spoiler. Too bad. But it gives an idea of why Big Boss became Big Boss, having to kill the boss and stuff like that. But I feel that the games after that, like Peace Walker, even the Phantom Pain, like although they did tie it together in the Phantom Pain, because they retconned it a little bit at the end when they said when Venom Snake died and then Big Boss died. They kind of retconned it a little bit, but it also leaves a really big question at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. Because clearly, at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, when you're in the cemetery scene, you're talking to Big Boss.
But if you remember Metal Gear Solid 4, he said there was also a clone of him. So.
Right, but he also says he died twice. Now, theoretically, if anybody, like, I've played all of the Metal Gear games, including the spin-offs. So when you played Metal Gear on the MSX or the Nintendo, you had, when you fought Big Boss in Zanzibar Land, you killed him, or the building collapses on him. That's kind of what happens. You know, that was the nutshell. He dies via the building collapsing on him. But that, in the new storyline, is Venom Snake. That's how they portray it. Although in the still image you see there isn't a horn on his head. So I'm kind of hoping, honestly, since Hideo, kind of is doing his own thing now and he's no longer tied up under Konami, I'm kind of hoping that he releases just remake those two, just to tie it all together, and that's it. Nothing else.
Funny how you were speaking about Snake Eater being like meant to be the first installment and stuff like that. I was having a little think while you were talking there, right? And have you ever played Gears of War Judgment?
Yes, I hated it.
Yes, right. Funny how they have better technology, right, than the stuff in Gears 1, 2, and 3.
It's funny you say that because they do that in all of the games. Like in Metal Gear Solid, for the PlayStation, you had the Soliton radar, which jammed easily if it was cold, if it was too hot, if you happened to get a shaft grenade thrown at you, things like that. Like, literally, when they're telling you about your radar, like, it jams easily. And then in Metal Gear Solid 2, you still had the Soliton radar, which was cool. In Metal Gear Solid 4, you had the Snake Eye. And then Metal Gear Solid 3 comes out, you didn't have any radar. They tried to keep it real to the times. The guns were older, things like that. But then you had active camo if you beat the game. Yeah,
well, that's for beating the game. That's sort of like a bonus thing.
Well, here's a good thing. They call it the iDroid in Metal Gear Solid, the Phantom Pain, and Ground Zeroes. They call it the iDroid, which is a mixture between an iPad or an iPhone and an Android device. It is more technologically, it can play music, it can call a helicopter, it can handle communications between you and Mother Base, it can do all this stuff, it can mark enemies, it can mark points of interest where you want to go on the map, things like that. It can do all that stuff for you. But yet, it's supposed to be dated in 1984. Yeah, that's how much games retcon information when they do stuff, especially if they don't do, like, chronological order is always usually different from release order. So if they do the prologue or the epilogue before or after the actual timeline, then usually, for obvious reasons, you're going to have better technology in later installments because you have better technology in general in real life, and it makes sense why they did that, but it's weird because if you go and play, Metal Gear Solid, the Phantom Pain, and then you go to play Metal Gear Solid where you're playing a Solid Snake, you have some really shitty Soliton radar. You don't start out with a gun. You have to find a gun. You have to find a suppressor. You have to find everything, rations. The only option to kill the enemies is you either strike them to death or you choke them out and break their neck. That's it. Those are your choices.
Wait. Whoever came up with the cardboard box is probably like rolling the money on the fact that memes and stuff.
Did you hear about the dude in, I don't know, I think it was Asia or something? He did that. He put a cardboard box over himself and robbed like $300,000 from stores.
Wow.
And they couldn't catch him because they couldn't see his face. And I was like, really? It's a cardboard box. I was like, he's lucky it wasn't raining.
I'm not going to lie, but whoever thought of the cardboard box idea probably watched too much anime.
No, he probably played a lot of Metal Gear Solid. He probably had a sneaking suit under there.
I meant the person that came up with it for Metal Gear Solid.
Well, Hideo Kojima, he's a really weird kind of guy. He does some really weird stuff. I mean, him and what's his face were gonna do the Silent Hills game on PS4, but then Konami pulled the plug on it. Which I'm assuming maybe we'll get to see that now since, Hideo's not in Konami anymore.
Yeah.
I'm hoping maybe.
I'm trying to think of what reboot series I would like to see.
A series I would want to see rebooted? I don't know. Like,
Neither do I. Like, the Gears of War one, they're trying to reboot, aren't they? But, like, it's kind of like I don't know. I would have to play the new one to find out if it's any good or not. Because
I'd probably go really old school and say medieval.
Yeah, yeah. The medieval games were very, very fun. They were very fun. It would be kind of cool though. I know I made the joke about Contra earlier being the greatest game ever, but I think it'd be kind of cool if they made like a nowadays kind of Contra. I mean, it'd be run of the mill, and they could even keep it side scroll if they wanted to, but just like with updated graphics. I think that'd look cool.
yeah.
It'd be a nice little
Shut up.
throwback. Or maybe
I'm-
Centipede or something. Or-
Earthworm Jim.
Or oh my God, Earthworm Jim. I used to play that game all the time, and like when I first got PlayStation and Crash Bandicoot came out, I loved playing Crash Bandicoot. Loved it.
Dude, I was
Oh,
playing Crash
yeah.
Bandicoot the other day when we were streaming last time. I was playing on the emulator.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of that, I forgot about that. I need to get that. I totally forgot about getting that PlayStation Now thing.
Yeah.
Good thing you reminded me.
I'm trying to remember like certain games I played in the past that were pretty decent, but it's a vague memory. My PS2 games are like in the attic somewhere in the next room, something like that. But ooh, there's an idea.
What's
I
your
want
idea?
them to get rid of this. I want them to get rid of this bloody Saints Row. Saints Row 3 was alright, but Saints Row
You need to go
4 and
back to the
beyond.
way Saints Row 1 was.
Saints Row 1 I liked until the ending, but Saints Row 2 was the better game. I want them to go back to the style of Saints Row 2.
I mean, if they had the story of Saints Row 1 with the style of Saints Row 2, they'd have an amazing game.
Yeah, and then they kind of made it out of space, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then I just spent hours in that game just hopping between places because I was like, I have superhuman powers.
That's what I'm saying, and I am purchasing PlayStation Now right now. Thanks for subscribing. Dun, dun, dun.
What else would I like to see? Let's see. Well, they're making up Guitario again. Whew.
Does anyone
this is
play Steam here, by the way?
I have Steam.
See, I need to get me some
Sega
Steam.
gave away for free.
They're doing a
What?
giveaway for free?
Yeah, did you hear what Sega's gave away for free?
No.
If you go on Steam, click on there's like an offer on the front page, and it says it's for free. You get, I'll tell you what it is now. I'll load Steam up.
I've just opened up my computer drawer and I've just instantly found the almighty Smack vs. Raw 2007. Oh my god. I'm looking for all these
Steam
games like that. Oh, Final Fantasy. That's X11. That's
No,
Final Fantasy
no.
11.
If it's just X, it's 10.
And that's X2. No, so that's Final Fantasy 12.
Oh.
Final Fantasy 9. Fahrenheit. That was a good game back in the day.
I
Why
forgot
can't
they
we get
released Sonic CD on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, if you click the make war, not love 3, the bloody Valentine one,
Mhm.
you get free Sega games. And the Sega games you get that are free are a game called Hell Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, you get Sega Genesis and Mega Drive Classics and Jet Set Radio for free.
Nice. Very nice.
It's literally free. You just have to install them.
Oh, cool. I'll have a look at that at some point. Probably. Sorry for burping. No, man, the sound just gone back on me. Either tonight or tomorrow. Sorted. I'm looking at all the shit that's in this drawer while I see if there's any games. Tomb Raider Legend.
And see, this has been a fun podcast, and I haven't gotten DDoSed yet that I know of.
That I know of.
Yeah, right. Like when we did get DDoSed, it happened so quick. I was just like, God damn it.
Wow.
But now,
I just thought.
like I said, I got that deterrent up, so now people aren't doing it. I'm good.
I
I'm
just
happy.
found True Crime New York City.
That's
I hated that. And LA.
was LA the one with the Asian cop, or was New York City the one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
LA.
sure.
LA was. New York was the black one.
Okay. I kind of liked that game because you could be like bad cop, good cop. Like you could go around
Yeah.
and beat the shit out of people, and you could be the good cop and get all your good points back.
Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Area 51. That was a good game, actually. I quite enjoyed playing that game. Area 51 right there. I'm actually having a look at all this shit. See what's actually in here. What the fuck's that?
Another good fighting game that we didn't mention was Street Fighter.
Street Fighter's overrated. I like it, but remember the old? Do you know what I preferred more than the Street Fighter ones? I preferred the old Capcom fighting games.
Yes.
All I'm gonna say is ever since I've seen Van Damme play in Street Fighter, I've never seen Street Fighter in the same sense ever again. In good way and bad, because I keep on. Oh, this is definitely a game that needs to get rebooted.
What?
Destroy All Humans.
That's a good game.
It is a good game.
Mainly on the fact that like it was different in a sense. Like, you know, around about that time when this game came out, you had all your like sort of shooters and all that
Wrestling
jazz.
games.
Yeah, you had your wrestling games. It was more like sort of kind to the crowd sort of things. And then you had this one, which basically, you know, because every single Alien game that came out, you're usually trying to fight off the aliens. Instead, you're a fucking alien who's trying to kill humanity. And it's probably one of the better ideas. Like, I like the idea of like having to earn your shit so that way you can go up and you make your shit better, you know, and all that jazz. Because I remember picking up cows and then flying them at people.
I should play Farming Simulator.
Oh hell! Well, my friend down the road actually has Farming Simulator. Funnily enough.
Like I'm looking at the like I'm just looking at some of the games on PlayStation Now, and it's a lot of games. And for those of you that are wondering, PlayStation Now in the United States is $20 a month, but you get to stream the games directly. There's no downloading or anything like that.
Dude, I've been playing Ratchet and Clank like crazy lately.
Exactly. It's loads and loads of fun.
I'm finding a lot of Iron Maiden CDs though. Right, I'm gonna look underneath my bed.
All right, gents, are you ready to wrap up this podcast? It's been a relatively good podcast, and now we're just kind of rambling.
I'm gonna see if I can find one more game quickly, because I know I've got one in here somewhere.
And throughout the week, I'm gonna practice on the harmonica so that I can play a song by next week. Yeah.
Dude, whilst I've been in this, I've been sampling Metal Gear Solid songs. I just made a beat. Metal Gear Solid.
That is great. All right.
And like it's got bass tones to it and everything. It's perfect.
Very nice. Well, for everybody who joined us tonight, thank you for tuning in. If you want to tune in next week, it'll be the same place, same time, the same Twitch channel. I was gonna say Bat channel, but that just seemed inappropriate. And don't forget, exactly. Don't forget, you can submit your questions for next week to the Ask FM account. It's ask.fm/TPP2K. I've been your host, Diehard. I've been joined by Twisted and Mr. Alex McNabb. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you guys next time.
Awesome. Peace.
Stay well.